is actually working today.
Yeah.
Now, as we go into this psalm here, this Psalms 137 is thought to be written by Jeremiah the prophet. This is during the time of the Babylonian captivity when Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians ran into Israel and took our people out. What they did was they wrecked the place. They left the poor and who they considered to be irrelevant part of society. They left them back in Jerusalem, back in Judea. But they took all the prominent people, the royalty, and all those people, and they took them back to Babylon. And basically, in essence, what they were doing it was re-educating and retraining them. Many of the people went over there and they changed their names. They took their names from Hebrew names and gave them Babylonian names. And it was only certain people, of course, like Daniel and Jeremiah and the three Hebrew boys, certain other people who stayed true to the essence and the truth and the statutes of the law that the Most High gave. But a lot of our people, during that time, they never recovered. They became Gentile state of mind. And this is what you see when Christ, during the time of Christ, in Matthew 25, when he says, go not in the way of the Gentiles, but go to the household of Israel. Because many of our people during these different captivities was taken into these countries and they were re-educated and did what we call the word today assimilation. They were assimilated into their cultures. This is what we're seeing here today, here in America. That many of our people have assimilated into the American culture. Where you got our people in America who are more proud of America than Esau is. Like you see them out here the 4th of July with the red flag, with the American flag waving in the yard, barbecuing, just doing everything. And now realizing in 1776, old boy, you was on a slave plantation working in the fields. Okay, it wasn't no Independence Day for you. You understand? You know? You got I'm talking about these people will argue you down about certain things about the aspect of America, and then they'll go out and some Esau either might call him a nick in Walmart, and then you'll go live crying on Facebook talking about I can't believe the hatred that I'm dealing with. You understand? So this is what we're going through. There's so many of our people that are done forsake of who we are as an essence, which happened during the Civil Rights Movement, when many people assimilated into the ideal of America. Before the Civil Rights, people was walking in their culture. They knew who they were. They knew their heroes. They knew exactly who the elders were, and they were trying to be supportive unto their community. Now, some people are ashamed to be black. You understand? Some people are ashamed to be attached. Some people go off to these colleges and never look back at their communities. You understand? It's a form of shame now. So that's what we were dealing with. This is what Jeremiah is dealing with here in this psalm, where he's going to be put to the test. He's going to see what decision he will make. And we're putting this out to you today. What decision are you going to make? Are you going to continue to stay into the things of Christianity and the things of the church and things of the Protestant Reformation and things of Catholicism just because that's what everybody's doing and they're telling you that this is our culture and this is who we are? Or are you going to make the decision to become who you really are? A child of the Most High God for the nation of Israel. And get back to the law, get back to the statutes, get back to commandments, get back to our culture and rebuilding our nation. Psalm 137. Give verse 1 there.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Now, if you go back and read our history, these same things happened to our people when they was in here in America. That when they began to think about their homeland, where they were, many of them were snatched from their parents, Some husbands would snatch away from their wives and their children. Some women would snatch away from their husband and their children. They began to think about it. And even in America, even when they was here, they were being snatched away. Families were being broken up all the time. Good old master come out in the middle of the night, rape the wife. Husband know about it. He say something about it. He get beat up. And when they begin to reminisce about before they was in this time, they begin to cry. And they begin to just, come on. When you go over to Jeremiah the 30th chapter, when it talks about Jacob's trouble, he would say that he was seeing, Jeremiah said that he was seeing men as if they were travailing in birth. They had their hands on their groins, crying as if they was giving birth to a baby. Because this is the pain that our people have went through in all these different captivities that we've done. But we like to put it out there at the same time. We did a lesson called, "To whom much is given, much is required." Because we've told you in countless situations that we can no longer look at Esau as the enemy. Esau was the belt that the Most High used to correct us. Esau and the rest of the Gentiles. It was our decision of our ancestors to break the law, to break the commandments, and to worship other gods is what led us to this place. So they began to come to them and ask them to sing them a song of Zion. Same way that they used to do on the slave plantations. You can research this yourself. It was happening the same thing then. They would have all these little mini concerts on the slave plantations where the people would get out there and sing songs. Because they know nobody could sing like us. Nobody could carry that tune. Nobody could bring in that voice, bring in that spirit like we would do. So the same people who plundered them, the same people that destroyed them, when it got hard, when it got tough, they would go to them and say, "Yo, sing us one of those songs of Zion." I mean, isn't that crazy? That the people who have taken advantage of us, the people who have broken us down, rely on us to give them encouragement and empowerment. Because they see like, yo, with everything we're doing to them, look at these people, they're still strong. They still got joy. They're still smiling. Nothing can break us, people, because of who the Most High made us to be. But we're breaking ourselves because we're not accepting who the Most High called us to be. You understand? Verse 4.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
He said, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? And many of you are asking yourself that day, how in the world can I do right when everything wrong is happening to me? You go to these churches on Sunday mornings and you see the evidence of this same thing here. Where people are burdened down, sick, broke, busted, disgusted, just hopeless. And they going to church not because they're going to worship the Lord, not because they're going to seek a blessing, not because they're going to give the Most High his due. No, they're going because they feel if they don't go, something worse is going to happen. So they walk in there, burdened down, face down, confidence down, and they walk in there and they sit, and the people who come to exhort, who come to praise, find themselves doing it by themselves, even if the church is packed. In many cases, a lot of churches, you don't even really see anybody in there no more. People have resorted to staying home, watching Joel Osteen, watching Joyce Myers, watching people on the internet, watching people on the live streams, so they can feel like they can connect to these people because these people are hyping them up, and making them feel good about their situation. You understand? So they asking like, yo, man, how in the world are we going to sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? Why in the world I'm going to praise God in the midst of my situation where my light's about to get cut off, my kids need clothes, my kids need money, I need everything, I ain't got nothing. And not realizing what part you played into it. But look at what Jeremiah said. Read that for him again.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
Mm-hmm.
If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her coming.
He said, if I forget you, Jerusalem, let my right hand forget how to work. Because I don't care what the circumstances I'm in. I don't care what I'm going through. I don't care the circumstances that have been brought to me. I will not forget the Most High. And this is what we're trying to get across to you people today. That regardless of what's going on in this country, regardless of what you see when you turn their television on, regardless of how they may treat us, regardless of how people may look at us, regardless of what they're talking about on social media, you cannot forget the Most High. You cannot forget who you truly are. You're not a black man. You're not an African-American woman. You are from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. And you must carry yourself as so. Regardless of what it looks. Regardless of what clouds of darkness, clouds of pain and storms may be over your head right now, may be over your life. And we got a great precept that we're going to end off with. We're going to show you that it's time that you took a second look. Verse 6.
If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. And if I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
Read that for him again.
If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
You understand? So regardless of what's going on, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what everybody else is talking about, you need not forget the Most High. Because where you are may be bad. Where you are, maybe you feel like you're losing right now. But with the Most High, without the Most High hand upon you, it will be so much worse. Life will never be easy. But I can tell you one thing, that without the Most High, it'll be much harder than it is. Today's lesson is entitled, It's Time You Took a Second Look. Now, let's go to the book of Micah. The book of Micah, the 3rd chapter. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 12 there. Micah is one of the minor prophets. 3rd chapter. And we're going to look at verses 1 through 3. 1 through 12. It's right after the book of Jonah. And for those who are just coming on today, today's lesson is entitled, It's Time That You Took a Second Look. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's give him verse 1 there.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. It is not for you to know judgment.
Now, this precept that we're talking about here right now is coming to the leaders. This is for fathers. Okay? This is coming for community leaders. This is coming for pastors. This is coming for business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators, philanthropists, all the people that are calling themselves leaders in the community. Read that for them again.
And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?
Is it not for you to know what the Most High word is? Is it not meant for you to know the law, statutes, and commandments? Is it not for you to be in a position to carry out the truth in this land? And isn't it amazing that the people that are in leadership, what we see today, don't want to have anything to do with the Most High? They don't want to have anything to do with the Bible? And look at where it has brought us. Verse 2.
Who hate the good and love the evil.
They do what?
Who hate the good and love the evil. Who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from their bones. Who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off of them. And they break their bones and chop them in pieces as for the pot and as for flesh within the cauldron.
The only reason that you're in the position is to get what you can get. The only reason that you took on the pastor position because now you get paid to preach. You started the business to rape the people of the community. You became a politician. You became a leader so that you can influence ways to grease your own pockets, not to help nobody. And it's really sad. This is what we got going on in our community right now. We destroy the people. And And this is for all you so-called drug dealers. Talking about you the man. Yeah, you is the man. The man who destroying our people. Everybody talking about some Uncle Toms. That's who the Uncle Toms is. Making a deal with Esau to destroy our people. Me and my brothers was watching the documentary on all the different people who had brought down different people to our organization. They on there proudly saying, yeah, you know, I brought down the Black Panthers. Yeah, I was undercover FBI agent. I helped them take out Malcolm X. Proudly. Woe unto you. Anybody that's taking a deal with Esau to destroy Jacob, woe unto you. Woe unto you. Verse 4.
Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them.
He said what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them.
Mm-hmm.
He will even hide his face from them at the time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doing.
See, then at the same time, they got the audacity, right? After they have destroyed the people, after they have gutted the community, after they have ruined the church, after they have taken advantage of people's lives or manipulated women and used them for their bodies, after they have taken these women and had a bunch of babies out of wedlock, not taking care of the kids, not providing for the women, they had the audacity to do what?
Then they shall cry unto the Lord.
And then want to cry unto the Most High. When you get hit with a bunch of child support checks, child support orders, and you about to go to prison, then they're going to do what?
Then they shall cry unto the Lord.
And then when now you done got 2 women pregnant in your church and you about to lose your church, they're going to do what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
Then when you done took advantage of a bunch of women in your political office and now your career about to be destroyed, they want to do what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
Then when you go out there and do all these high prices in your businesses and take advantage of people, don't pay good people good wages, and your business about to fail, they want to do what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
Then when you done cheated on your wife repeatedly and she get ready to leave you and take the kids and take the house, you want to do what?
Then shall they cry unto the Lord.
But what's going to happen?
But he will not hear them.
Mm-hmm.
He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doing.
Mm-hmm. Verse 5.
Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he putteth not into their mouths. They even prepare war against him.
You see now the prophets are coming in here, and they teaching. The prophets will be these preachers, because the prophets back in the day, they operated in all aspects because there was no fivefold ministry. So now this covers everybody: apostles, pastors, teachers, evangelists, and prophets. It covers all of them. Now you out here teaching this nonsense, telling people, yo, the law's done away with. You can do whatever you want to. You can eat whatever you want to. You can worship whatever day you want to. I heard a guy said the other day, a few weeks ago, Gentile guy said, if you want to make Tuesday your Sabbath, you can. It's whatever day you choose. Right? This guy got thousands of people in his church. He told them, if you want to make Tuesday your Sabbath, God is cool with it. Where they do that at? Okay? You got these leaders, and I won't name no names, because I will never tear down Jacob publicly. But you got these leaders, these so-called conscious movement leaders, out here telling people to stop reading the Bible, to leave the church, to leave Christ, to leave all this nonsense. But yet at the same time, they have no answers for where we're going. They have no answer for how we got to this situation. They have nothing. Nothing to tell you but some great speeches and call out things that everybody knows. Okay? Everybody knows the problems. Everybody knows the situation with our kids. Everybody knows the situation of our finances in our community, the lack of jobs. And we all know that, okay? Anybody can state those facts. But what we want is answers. What we want is solutions. The only solution is the word of the Most High. The only solution is submission to Yeshua, the Christ, who the world don't know to be Jesus. That's the only solution. And people think that that's not the solution because of what they've seen in these churches. Most High ain't in these churches. Yeshua has never been taught in these churches. The Word of God has never been taught in these churches. Catholicism and the Protestant Reformation is what they teach. None of that has to do with the Most High. You understand? Verse 6?
Therefore,
No. Yeah, verse 5. No, yeah, verse 6.
Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God.
Because there's what?
There is no answer of God.
Wow. So this is what's going on right now. So many of you have been part of these ministries that's been telling you that your breakthrough is on the way, that your miracle is going to happen any day now. 5 years later, nothing has happened. Okay? And the sad thing about it is, many of you left pastors and churches who was telling you the truth, who was giving you the truth about your life, but because they were telling you something you didn't want to hear, many of you left the church and started joining these mega churches. So you go in there, you have a big old concert, you scream and holler, you talk all good, the preacher come out there and tell you, give you these great points and this great word, and it feels so good. But now, that situation has got bad, and people are really needing some answers, the Most High has closed his mouth. He ain't telling them nothing. And now all these people are being exposed for being the con artists that they are. And it's really sad. But the sad, what's even worse about it is, now that this is happening, people are not equating, this person was fake, this church is fake, this denomination is fake, this Christianity is fake. No, they're saying the Bible is fake. They're saying the Most High ain't real. They're saying Yeshua don't exist. When you got to stop equating them as the same thing, because they're not. Okay? We did a lesson several weeks ago called "It's Time to Set Things in Order." Go check my videos. You can go check that out. Well, we deal with the whole thing of Christianity. We deal with the whole things of Judaism. We got a lesson called Religion versus Bloodline. Go check those 2 videos out. And we address all those different things. That Christianity is not of the Most High. Judaism is not of the Most High. The Protestant Reformation is not of the Most High. Catholicism, not of the Most High. Because everything that they stand for, you can't find it here. Okay? Verse 7? No, verse 8.
But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all iniquity. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for war, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, Is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us.
They have the audacity, right? They have the audacity to come to the Most High and to say that after all of this, after all that they're doing, that the Most High is going to provide. Now, ain't that some nonsense? After everything they done did, they have the audacity to say, yeah, the Most High, He's going to take care of us. He's going to do what we need Him to do. This is nonsense. So the Most High is now, and Micah is talking to the people who are the true prophets, who are the true pastors, who are the true leaders. Look at what he says in verse 12.
Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountains of the house as the high places of the forest. So
what he's saying here is, because you who know the truth refuse to tell people the truth, for those who know to live right refuse to live right, for those who are walking in nonsense when you know that's not the way you're supposed to be living, raising your children that way, going on your jobs, not being light, not being salt, this is what leading to the destruction of our community. So notice that he didn't stay with blaming the nonsense. He didn't stay with blaming the people who are living outside of his truth. Now he's looking to the people who know the truth and still living a lie. Because I said on the outset, it's one thing to live a lie. It's another thing to teach a lie. It's another thing to go on social media every day and tell people nonsense because it sounds good. Because you want to be a part of the crowd. So it's time we took a second look. Now, Jay, what we at on time right now?
136.
Okay. All right. Let me switch these cameras out. Let me see that right there. Right, so. All right, people, sorry about that. All right, we're gonna have to give you that close up for a second right now. There for a little bit, people. Now, we're gonna give you that straight close up right now for a bit. We have some technical difficulties right now, but we're just making it do what it do. Close that curtain right there. Got that light coming in. Yeah. All right, now, let's go to 1 Kings 11 chapter. I want you to stay with us, people. Stay with us. And today's lesson is called It's Time You Take a Second Look. I want you to stay with us here. We got a little bit more we got to give you because we know as many of you are going into your new year that you want to be in a position where that you can hear from the Most High. Some of you are tired of making the same mistakes. You're tired of going around the same mountain over and over and over again. So what we're doing today is we're giving you the equipment. We're empowering you and giving you all the necessary tools that you're going to need in order to do what thus says the Lord. 1 Kings 11 chapter. We're going to look at verse 28 through 40 here. Now let me explain to this before we get into this. Okay. A lot of you have a special calling on your life. You have a very special calling on your life. And the Most High came to you and plucked you out of the norm of everything that's been going on in your community, in your life. The Most High has chosen you. He's made it clear that He has a particular calling for your life. But some of you, because things are not going the way you want it to go, you're beginning to compromise. You're beginning to take deals. You're trying to take shortcuts to get to where you think you should be because you believe that you should be farther ahead than you are right now. And I understand that frustration. Trust me, I do. I'm dealing with that right now in my own life. But what I want you to understand is the reason why we're going to give you this precept today is to let you see how detrimental it is when you try to fast forward the things of the Most High and you don't wait. You don't give Him time to do what He needs to do in your life. So we give you this precept to let you see that if you stay with God and do the things He said in the manner that He said to do it, things will work out. But when you don't, it won't. 1 Kings, 11th chapter. Give verse 28 there.
And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that was industrious, he made him ruler of all the charge of the house of Joseph. Okay.
So, this is during the time of Solomon when he's the king. And if you go back and read the top verses here, in the first 27 verses, you will see that Solomon is wilding. Okay? Solomon is out there doing anything and everything that he feels he can do. The Most High came to him twice on separate situations, came to him personally and told him, listen, you got to stop this nonsense. You got to get back to my law, statutes, and commandments. But Solomon did not hear. He began to marry all these women. He began to build temples to other gods. He was doing everything opposite of what the Most High told him to do. And so the Most High had to punish him for that. So you see here that Solomon done chose this guy to be over Ephraim, who was Joseph, tribe of Joseph, the tribe of Ephraim. But let's see what's going to happen here. Verse 29.
And it came to pass that the time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, the prophet Ahijah the Silonite found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they were two alone in the field. Mm-hmm. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And Jeroboam said to Jeroboam, Take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and give 10 tribes to thee.
So now, remember I told you that Solomon had been wilding, right? He had been making all kind of bad decisions.